Congress hasn't done so well in most parts of the country. Let me begin this conversation by asking you your assessment of this massive victory by the BJP, and what do you think went awfully wrong for you, especially in the Hindi heartland?
Well, look, it's extremely difficult to say, because I can assure you that no political pundit predicted this until the exit polls came out. We were looking at a whole range of predictions. We were making our own calculations on the basis of ground reports. The expectation was very much that the BJP would peak at somewhere around the 180 range and certainly under 200, and that we would ourselves score in about the 120 to 150 range. So, and this was broadly consensual. It wasn't just a party overconfidence or anything like that. If you read the press during the elections, very few were talking about anything remotely like the kind of wave reflected in the final numbers. So we are still in a bit of a state of shock about what happened. It's very interesting, for example, one of the classic theories of politics, that people vote in their economic self-interest, went right out of the window. I mean, after all, you're looking at 45-year high of unemployment. You're looking at farmers so desperate they're contemplating suicide in record numbers. We have SMEs and micro enterprises being thrown out and dying because of demonetization. It's been one economic misstep or disaster after the other. And yet the victims of this seem to have still gone ahead and voted for the BJP. I mean, a young man who 5 years ago voted for Mr. Modi because he expected to get a job, there's no logical reason why he should vote for Mr. Modi again 5 years later when he still doesn't have a job. And yet he does seem to have done so. So these are things that require a very detailed study, not a glib answer on a TV camera. We need to actually find out with detailed studies as to what motivated people, what they saw in the BJP, how we misread the tea leaves on our side, and what the BJP did right. And that's why I can only venture speculative guesses. I can't give you a definitive answer, but it looks like the Modi leadership image, this larger-than-life image of this strong man who would keep the country safe, the whole national security messaging after Balakot, and finally the sort of freebies and welfare schemes, which in many ways exist more on paper or in slogans than in reality. The toilets, many of which don't have running water, the Ujjwala connections, many of which no one can afford to refill. And yet all of these seem to have given an impression to the public that this was a government that deserved their support.